In the athletic club dining room, Devin is surprised that Nate had time for lunch, given how much time he's been spending with Audra. Nate says she's dealing with glissade business in Europe. He doesn't really know what her relationship with Tucker is at this point. Devin suggests he keep his distance because she's likely more trouble than she's worth. His cousin thinks they should be focused on Billy, who has been touring the world and charming company heads. They doubt he's made headway to stage a coup yet. Mamie arrives, fresh off a flight from Detroit. Devin hopes trouble is not on the way. She wants Lily there for their talk. They say she's at the office. Devin reminds her that they were clear about what they thought of her ideas for the company. Their aunt says that's not what this is about. It was hurtful when they ganged up on her. She has been reflecting on what went wrong and realized that she wanted to reunite the company and has done some good for the family. She nudged them in the right direction but then pushed things off track. Now, she wants to set things right again. Devin wonders when she will start creating mischief. This sounds like a pause before she starts up causing friction again. Dubs Anderson previews Preakness and PGA Championship. Mamie declares that she wants to take a step back and leave them to make all the business decisions. They say if she wants them to believe that, they need proof, like selling them her interest in the company. That seems extreme to her. Devin worries that she will still wield power if she has a stake. If she genuinely wants to prove she's putting the family first, she will do this. Mamie accuses him of being cruel, and he tells her she can make other investments that won't cause family issues. She brings up Jill handing the reins to Billy, and what a red flag that is. This talk has Devin on the edge, and he insists they have Billy under control before urging her again to sell her share in the company. Devin leaves for work, and Mamie asks Nate to hang around. She tells him the family sticking together is the most important thing in the world. He knows how hard it is to win back Devin's trust from experience. Focusing on Jill is not helping her case. If she can't let go of her animosity, the professional tension could turn personal. It seems to him like she came back to town to cripple Jill, not strengthen the family. Lily is surprised when Billy shows up in the Chancellor Winter's office. After she taunts him about his suck-up tour, he tells her they need to have a private conversation. She's still miffed about all that's happened with his mom. Billy admits he's betraying Jill's trust by telling her this, but she is sick. It's a cardiac issue and Snapper is making sure she gets the best care. There's no clear prognosis, but the situation is serious. Lily is sorry to hear this. His mom means the world to her. Billy explains that this has given him a sense of urgency about what he's trying to do. He's determined to memorialize his mother's legacy. One way to do that is by adding her name to the company's. Lily thinks this is ridiculous and reminds him he has already failed at trying to do this. He wants to make sure his mother's contribution is recognized. She's sure other people will see it as being more self-serving. Billy is adamant that this is not about him. He's had rough times with his mom, and this is his chance to make it up to her before it's too late. Billy hopes she can see the name change is something to be embraced and presented to the board. She's the only one who can help him convince Devin. Lily will have to think about it. He asks her to let him speak to his mother before she speaks to her brother. Devin enters and asks if everything is okay. Lily tells Billy he can count on her discretion and he exits. He wonders what that was all about. She's not explaining. He tells her Mamie is back and then elicits a groan. Devin says Mamie claims she's going to take a step back, but he doesn't buy it. If they go ahead with the demerger plan, it will just be a giant "I told you so" from her. When he asks about Billy again, she urges him to let her handle that. They get back to talking Mamie, and he admits that he gave her an ultimatum to let them buy her out. His sister doesn't think that will happen. Nate joins them and agrees that their aunt is fired up and won't be letting go anytime soon. Chelsea and Adam return to his penthouse. He's upset. She tells him he needs to stay strong for their son, but he can't take the fake smiles and false optimism any longer. He dumps the gift for their son in the trash. She pulls it out and says they can't give up on their son. He's feeling helpless. The doctors keep pulling the rug out from under them, and the rug is Connor. They need to stop pretending there is anything positive in this. Chelsea blurts out that they can't stop now. She needs him to be the rock here. More than anything, she wanted to see their son again. He pulls her into his arms and holds her. Just then, Sally arrives, holding her moving box. They spot her and Sally hands him her box. Chelsea congratulates them on their news. Sally asks how they are back so soon. Chelsea leaves Adam to fill her in, and Spectra asks if they can catch up on Marchetti soon. On her way out, Chelsea assures Adam things will get better and exits. Adam hugs Sally and tells her how much he missed her. He hasn't noticed much of her stuff there yet. She asks what happened with Connor and why the gift is still there. He explains the trip was canceled. His son was excited to tell him about his progress, but that only made his OCD worse. The OCD told him he didn't deserve to be happy, and he punched himself in the face. How could he do that to himself? They pace around the room, and she tells him he can't lose faith. He's just feeling spent and his son is hurting himself. Isn't this what the experts should be stopping? Why are the experts making things worse? Sally thinks it's complicated. Maybe things get worse before they get better. Adam explains that because Connor keeps backsliding, the doctors can't promise when another visit will be possible. He punched himself in the face at the thought of us visiting him, he agonizes. Adam apologizes for throwing the cookies she bought in the trash, but she assures him that letting the anger out is okay, as long as Connor doesn't see it. Adam worries about Chelsea seeing how upset he is. Sally tells him not to take that on too. Holding her, he says he doesn't know how he would get through any of this without her. You don't have to, she says. They kiss. Billy is surprised when Chelsea stomps over to him at Crimson Lights and asks him to hold her. She explains the trip was canceled. He can only imagine how devastated she feels. She feels like her heart is being ripped out, and all she can do is stare at her son on the screen. Billy suggests that it is a good thing that her son at least called her. Connor called a nurse for once, and the doctors think that means he's learning to manage the OCD. She says this has really thrown Adam, who is very frustrated. When Billy assumes he's back to being Adam, she says he's being unfair. He apologizes for being glib, and she worries about Adam having to keep pulling her up and keep her stable. Billy fills Chelsea in on his mom having cardiac issues. That's why she gave him the reins at work while she's getting treatment. The braver a face she puts on, the more he thinks of what ifs. He feels bad for breaking Jill's trust and telling her and Lily about this, but he needed Lily to get on board with his plan to change the company name. She thinks he should talk to the Abbotts about it, but he waves that off. Chelsea adds that he shouldn't be trusting Lily in this. The last thing his mom needs is to feel like she can't trust her family. Billy insists he has enough history with Lily to trust her. His mom was all in on the name change before, but he needs to be strategic about how he deals with this. Chelsea urges him to talk to his mom about this, but he doesn't want to approach her with it. He's just trying to do one thing at a time right now. Chelsea urges him to support his mom, but be careful not to get involved in some company battle that will cost him time with her he will never get back.